this is Business with Dave. In this video, I'll be giving you 2 cases for pros and cons for cooking to order and assemble to order for your street food business, and which style you adapt will depend on these factors, so do tune in for the rest of this video. So yeah, let's jump straight into it. So firstly, we'll start with cook to order. So number 1 is that you could charge a premium price for it. This is where you're making the food in front of the customer, you're giving the customers a whole new experience that they wouldn't often get if they were to sit in or to order takeaway from a restaurant. You're offering them a first class seat, watching their food being made, how they're being made, how it's assembled, and yes, you can charge a higher price for that. Second point is that, again, you are putting on a show for the customers. You're giving them a new experience that they wouldn't otherwise get when they're at a restaurant or whether they're doing it at home. Because you yourself, you're a professional, you want to show that, show your skills, showcase your ingredients, and make sure it's presentable and that customers will enjoy watching it as well. Obviously, you show your craftsmanship, you show your expertise, you show why you are you are the expert, you are the cook. You are showcasing what type of cuisine that you're doing, and you're showcasing how you add your personal spin to it, and that shows in how you cook. It shows in how you present yourself, how you present in your food, and you want to make sure you create that good impression because that will grab people's attention. And of course, you'll have less waste, so this is where you're making each order as you go along, so you're not wasting any ingredients, you're just using what you need to use and making that dish for the customer. Just means that you're keeping your costs tighter and that you can hopefully benefit from using sort of the similar ingredients to other dishes on your menu as you were to create so many different dishes with different ingredients as well. It allows you time to chat to your customers and get to know them, which a lot of the times you don't often do, particularly if you have a street food stores that people do like to come regularly and you slowly get to know them. It's nice to get to know your customers, it's nice to build relationships, it's nice to get to know your story and the reason why you're doing it, whose recipe you're using, or if you made it up yourself, why is this type of fusion work. Get those people talking about you, your food, your brand, your business, get them to share pictures. It's the whole part of experience where customers really want to be submerged in as well, and that you could showcase who you are and what you can do and why you're doing it ultimately. And obviously how good your food tastes as well, which is super important, and how good it looks, because then you can sell that on social media and people will spread that positive word of mouth. So obviously some of the drawbacks to cook to order is that it's super time consuming. So you can be making one order for 2-3 minutes instead of maybe making 2-3 other things in that during amount of time. You're literally taking the time to make each order, and obviously stuff will take time to cook. So you're not immediately serving volumes of customers, you're ultimately serving a selective number at a certain time, so you can improve on multitasking and cooking multiple things at the same time, then obviously you could benefit from that. But obviously that will add to the stress, the pressure of getting everything done, and obviously time sensitive as well. You're not serving customers in volumes in that sense and in as quick as you can. You're serving them almost 1 at a time or 2 at a time, which customers, sometimes they can wait, but most of the time they probably won't wait. But those who will wait will show that they're more likely to buy from you and that there'll be a nice long queue, which obviously in a positive sense would draw people in because everyone loves queue. But also people don't like to wait as much, so you're more likely to lose those potential customers as well. And that brings nicely to the next point. You do risk losing customers if you are taking too long. One of the things you don't want to be doing is to lose potential customers, because if you really draw customers in with your food, your cooking, and how it looks and how it smells, you want to make sure you take their orders, take their money, and make sure that they're waiting for you and that you're cooking those orders as well. You don't want to lose any orders to your competitors, and how you want to make sure you do that is just to make sure you can do it quicker. Ultimately, turn that negative into a positive. Make sure you have enough staff, make sure you can cook enough you have enough cooking appliances, and make sure you get through those customers as quick as you can. Obviously, you would need to limit the amount of dishes that you're making, because if you're making each order, you can't have 5-6 things that you make individually. You want to make sure maybe focus on 2-3 things that you could do really well quite quickly, and make sure that you're putting those ingredients together and that there's not too many ingredients that it becomes too hectic. Because if it looks too messy, if the menu looks complicated, it scares people away. It would be quite scary for me if I was an operator, because I would be doing too much at the same time, and you don't necessarily have the time luxury to be doing that. Last point as well is sometimes when you charge a premium for cook to order, it can price people out. It can scare customers away. Obviously, not everyone will have the disposable income to spend on £5 worth of steak and chips than if they had like £6 to spend on a falafel wrap. So do be aware that you won't be appealing to a lot of people, but you'll be hopefully appealing to 30-40% of the people who do arrive at the market for food, to try new things and to maybe treat themselves as well. So always be able to be aware that you could be pricing people out, but then there'll be those who are high disposable income who do want to treat themselves and their friends and family. Hopefully they want to show off and stuff like that they will buy from me, so do have that into consideration. So on to the next section is to assemble to order, which is my preferred style of service. I would probably say it just means that you're selling quickly, you're making everything beforehand, everything is heated up, and you're just taking orders and putting everything to order. And that you can complete each meal within 1 or 2 minutes, so then you're getting through volumes of customer as you are trading as well. Obviously the massive pro is that you're cooking everything beforehand. So either the night before or you're cooking everything in the morning before opening. You are cooking everything, you're having it all on hot hold in a bain-marie, and when an order comes in, you are assembling everything into a box or into a wrap, and then you're doing everything in front of the customer, and that customers can be in and out in less than a minute. If you could do it in less than 60 seconds, then you could get through so many customers. So if you think about in an hour, you do one order, you get through 60 customers. 120 in 2 hours. So just stuff like that, you are crafting your whole street food style on making sure you get through volumes of customers and get through the amount of dishes as much as you can. This also means that you can focus on making 5 different dishes, so 5 variations of meat or a different kind. Have that all on hot hold. There's more options for the customers to choose, which is always really good, because if you have a small store in particular, you can't focus on too much on 1 or 2 things. If you can do it, assemble to order, you could have 5 different things and have 5 different options and give those customers options that they wouldn't otherwise get elsewhere. And obviously you can get through a lot more of your food because you are selling in volume. So if you're making everything in bulk, if you got curries up, if you got everything all prepared, you are literally scooping everything into boxes and giving it to those customers as quick as possible. It means you're getting through the sales, it means you're making through the margins as well, because obviously if you are priced very low to medium, then it means that you're getting through as many people as you can, which means that you're focusing on volume, so then hopefully you can get those margins in, particularly if it's kind of tight as well. But obviously making it super convenient for customers and making sure it's nice, neat and easy for them to flow through your store, and how they get from paying, ordering, getting their food as quickly and as easy as possible. That will be the most important thing in order for the customer's perspective, because they can be in and out in a matter of minutes instead of waiting 3 minutes to make some food, or they're 2 people already ahead of you and stuff like that. Next point is that customers don't have to wait in line too long. Again, people don't like to wait in lines as much. Often enough, if they do want to wait in line, it means that it is definitely worth doing. But sometimes, yes, you could cook to order, you have the potential to lose customers. So with assemble to order, you have none of that problem. You make every meal within a minute. If you have enough staff, you can get through as many as half a minute as well. and that means that you're getting through those sales with each order that you get in. And the last positive point about assemble to order is that you're not cooking to order, which means that you don't have the pressure to feel that you need to go really quickly. You still need to go really quickly, but because everything is cooked, you don't need to worry about making sure it's fully cooked and making sure that it doesn't taste good. You already know it tastes good. You're just keeping everything on hot hold, so then you're putting it into boxes and rices and stuff like that. So you don't need to worry about it in that sense, and then you have less pressure. You just need to focus on making sure you can get through as many customers, but you don't need to worry about the food quality because you already know what it should taste like and then you've tasted it beforehand. So in that sense, it means that customers can get their food in and out quickly, and that you get those repeat sales as well. So some of the negatives with assemble to order is that the amount of staffing that you'll have at your disposal. It means higher labor costs. And with any business, labor is probably by far the biggest costs that businesses incur, and then the next one is food costs. So in order to make sure that you operate successfully and assemble to order, you want to make sure you have maybe a person for each station. So if it's cooking, if it's putting salads, putting sauces, wrapping up, there is someone there to make sure the flow of your store is functioning smoothly. And that's the aim here, because you don't want it to be you jumping from one section to the next section to the next section to the next section to the next section, because that will take time. You can't get through customers within a minute if you do that. But if you have a section on people that will be able to pass along the dish, then obviously that will move quicker, and because they're specializing in that special area, you'll get through those orders really quickly because you have those numbers in order to make up for it. Next point is that obviously you have more wastage, because obviously in the morning you make a certain amount, hopefully you could sell. So if you make an amount of like 50 portions and you only sell about 30, then obviously if you're not selling the next day, then you're ultimately wasting the 20 odd portions away. So obviously the risk is that you have potentially higher food costs if you don't sell. But obviously that's a risk that you're going to have to take, because ultimately you want to make sure you can sell all 50, or if you can sell out, then that's really good. But obviously there'll be more food wastage, so do anticipate that. It is probably best if you can use it for the next day, because then it means that there is less wastage, you just make less for the next day. But ultimately you want to make sure you don't have as much waste, so do plan and anticipate the number of customers that you're in and how much portion size you sort of want to make. And this is where you learn through experience. You don't know how much you're going to make till you've actually done it, so make sure you learn from each experience. Do factor in weather, do factor in where you're located in a market, because some of these will have important impact on how customers will see you, where they're going to come from. Are they going to go through different stores before they get to yours? Or if you're at the start of the market, are they going to come back? So these are really key points and advice that, as long as you sort of work around the market. So my personal advice is, if you work in different areas of the market and you find out which one best suits you, or if you have a look at what more established market people are located, do look at where they are, because it will play a massive part in if you make those sales or not. And the last big negative really to assemble to order is that it takes a lot of time. You have to prep a lot, you have to do everything beforehand. So if it's the night before, you have to cook everything and make sure it's stored properly. Or if you're cooking it on the day, you're spending a lot of time not just preparing your store for the morning, you're actually just cooking everything up until opening. So a lot of time, a lot of effort, you're dealing with a lot of food that has potential to go to waste if you don't sell it. But if you do sell it, if you get those volumes of customers that you do anticipate, the market is nice, it's bright, sunny, lots of people are outside, you are positioned right where customers will be hopefully around, then you have the best chance of selling out really quickly. You won't have enough food, and that's the positive. That's really good. But obviously It won't be as good if you do sell out really quickly, but this is where if you have extra ingredients spare, and in case you do run out, then you can make more on the spot. But ultimately, if you have everything prepared, sell out, this is how much you'll be making, then you'll be doing the best job for yourself and for your team members as well, because you would have sold out, you would have made all your margins and how much you've anticipated, and yeah, all positive in that sense. Thanks for watching this video, guys. Obviously, there'll be pros to cooking to order and assemble to order in this video. Hopefully you could take all the pros and cons for each and every one of them. Again, my personal favorite would be to assemble to order in order to get those quick and volume sales. But obviously you can see the reasons why cooking to order has its pros as well, and how as long as you have enough staff and the food quality is good, takes a bit more time, but those who do it really well, they will be more well known, and then you could create a good reputation for your business and yourself as well, and the food that you're selling. So the chances of it being quite successful is quite high if you cook to order what you're doing than to assemble to order. Assemble to order still feels a bit medium to low quality in that sense, so if you do want to do something more high, then do go cook to order. But if you do want to focus on decent quality, medium pricing and quick volume, then do assemble to order. But obviously pros and cons to each one. Do focus on your concept as well, and what food you're selling and how you want to shape that and decide. But yeah, like this video if you like this video, and consider subscribing to the channel. Would love to see those numbers go up. Please, 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 if you did find this video useful, subscribe, please. I've been Business with Dave. I will see you in the next video. See ya.